Welcome to the Unwashed Asses, episode 76, recorded for Monday, February 4th, 2019. It's been a while. I heard the sound of my voice. Hey, hi, how's it going? I feel like I owe, not necessarily an apology, but I owe you a backlog of episodes now. Because there's people on Patreon who have paid good, hard-earned money to hear my dumbass talk, and I have not been doing the talky bits, and has been and continues to be a problem that I'm trying to work through and fix, and I think I've narrowed it down into what it is and how to fix it, and in vein of a quarterly meeting for a large corporation, which this clearly is not. I need to outline our problem and then the steps to correct it so that we can get this company back on track and get things righted, as it were. I've been stuttering lately and I fucking hate it. I don't know if it's nerves or if it's neurological damage or if I'm just that dumb that I'm not able to talk eloquently anymore. And then I gotta go But no, embarrassment. Embarrassment is the primary reason I have not been recording. And not necessarily shame, but embarrassment. And it's, I guess you can determine whether or not it's complicated. No, it's not complicated. Is it complicated? I overanalyze it too much. I think too much. I need to just shut up and do it. No, I'm embarrassed. The times that I have available to me to record are mostly populated by other people, and I don't like recording in front of other people. I'm very self-conscious, which doesn't make sense because the people that I would record in front of still end up listening to the show, so they're getting the final product. I just don't want them to see how the sausage is made because I get super self-conscious about it. And I've not been, buckling down and making my own time a priority to make sure that my commitment to you is met, that my end of the deal is being held up. And that's something I need to work on and get over and just suck it up and get it done, because no longer is this baby my own. It's yours because you're paying for it. And I appreciate that very much, and I owe you better. Much like I tell my lovely fiance, you could do so much better than me, but you still choose me. So I have to up my game a bit here. So you, my podcasting girlfriend or fiance, I owe you better, and I strive to do better. It's just a matter of me getting over my own personal hang-ups and feelings of inadequacy. Because that's where the complicated part comes in, because I'm super proud of this show. I'm super proud of, everything I've had to learn and figure out and put together to make it happen. And then looking back and seeing how it's evolved, this was something that I began cobbling the idea of back in 2014, 2015. And here we are, 4 years later. It took a couple of years to actually get off the fucking ground. We've got this little jalopy of a plane going, and I love it. I like posting the episodes. I like editing together the videos that go on YouTube, and I love going into fucking SoundCloud and tracking statistics of how many robot subscribers did I get today, and I get I guess a lot for me, and an insignificant amount for other people, but it's exciting. It's that exciting bit where I'm validated by the numbers that are coming in, like, oh, I have self-worth, and that's where the problem is I need to stop putting any sense of importance on those numbers, any sense that they make me a better person because they're higher than they were last week. I need to follow the philosophy of, I guess, adapted in a way, but I'm doing the show for me first and for you second. But then that feels selfish and dumb, but otherwise I feel very self-conscious because, you know, in the bits of TV that I watch, you know, passively, there's so many people, like, you know, we were watching on E! Network last night, a bunch of people I don't know, but they're sitting around and watching other people go on a date and criticizing it. What was that show that aired in the late 90s, early 2000s? Was it Blind Date? Where they would be a bunch of people in a van and watch a date, and they'd do like the thought bubbles and whatnot. Similar concept to what was on last night, except it was... I'm watching without sound, so it's hard to figure it out, but it looked like 3 pairs of commentators watching 2 couples go on dates. And of course, they got to get the backstory on each of the individuals, and then they comment on the date and, you know, how they think things are going. But every single fuck, now, bear in mind, it looked like it was filmed in California. It's like, oh yeah, super into fitness, or I'm a pretty person, but I don't know why that's important. What's important is that they all were trying very hard to have an online presence. And the online presence is based, again, on, you know, how many likes do I have? How many followers do I have? How do I make myself a bigger thing? And fame for the sake of fame. And it's sickening to me. It makes me nauseous and not want to do the thing that I enjoyed prior because, you know, I guess my desire, because I'm going to be a hipster douche, my desire stems from AM radio and shock jocks, but that's probably something you've never heard of, listening to your podcasts and your Sirius XM radio. You know, things like Mad Cow and, or Man Cow, not Mad Cow, Man Cow. It's been so long. Man Cow and Turd in the Morning, Howard Stern to a lesser extent, Bob and Brian, you know, the classics where it's traffic on the 5s and weather on the 8s, and just, we're going to cover local stories, and we're going to go out to the local shoe store to promote our 3rd fucking annual comedy album, and just goofy shit where we've got a soundboard with fart noises, and we have the lady co-host who's there for bit parts and just mostly acts disgusted with the 2 main hosts. That type of thing. That's what I enjoyed, was morning radio. And when I discovered podcasts, I'm like, holy shit, it's like morning radio on demand. And I've seen this thing that I like, love even, turned into something, a vehicle for people seeking, I guess, something important to them, but even then, it's just a means to an end. And then we have things like celebrities tapping into a podcast market, and it's, again, just propelling their own vehicle instead of doing it for the sake of doing the craft. It's like Kevin Smith said, you know, you have to be your own biggest cheerleader. You have to be the biggest proponent for your art, and, you know, you have to treat it like a lover, like a girlfriend. You gotta, you know, want to go in that Denny's bathroom and fuck the shit out of it, and have no sense of shame about it. And that's where I've been failing, not only the show, but you, is I've not been a big proponent or a big cheerleader of my own work. It could be for any number of reasons, you know, like I can't take a compliment and I'm constantly degrading and belittling myself, or that I think everything that I do is shit. But I want to say it's a way of bettering myself and getting product out in a better fashion and higher quality, but now it's actively getting in my way and impeding progress and stopping you from getting the content that you're paying for. And shit's got to stop, yo. So now that we've identified the issue, what's the fix? Well, in a 3-part PowerPoint series, we're going to break down said fix. We're not. I've had to watch a lot of PowerPoints lately, and I'm sick of them. They're vapid and empty, like the people who make podcasts in Hollywood and in California. No, the plan is to just do it. even if I'm uncomfortable, or I want to do something like play video games more, I have to do it. I have to treat it like a job. I have to get myself on a schedule. I have to just make sure it fucking happens before I do anything else. You know, come hell or high water. If I've got downtime at work, fuck it. Record a 15-minute show, save it for later, get it up. If I'm home, fucking go in the bedroom or something, record a show, save it for later, get it up. When I'm sitting at home and I have nothing going on, before I, fire up some for honor, and, fight the evil that are the Japanese warlords or the Vikings or the Wu Lin or the new shitbag that is the Black Prior, take 15 minutes, record an episode. I don't have to upload it right away. Just have it ready, because that's the hard part. Editing this shit, super easy. Actually, I do need to work on the background music. I like the music, but I notice there's highs and lows. I have to equalize that. But again, that's part of making it better. That's part of getting something out and making it happen for you, the people. My theory is that by doing, it will get easier. I will lose that self-consciousness, and I will learn to embrace and love and lust after my own creation, like a fucked up Victor Frankenstein who just wants to fuck the monster. Because Frankenstein, go with me here, Frankenstein was the purest form of a man in love with his work. Think about it. You have the opportunity to build the perfect creation. What would you build? Bet you'd build something you'd want to fuck. I know I would. I wouldn't have started with creating Adam, what the monster named himself. I would start with creating Eve, because I'd fuck Eve. I mean, I might fuck an Adam too, but I'm very picky with my tastes in men. So even if I do create the perfect being, be like, oh, well, I made this, so it's shit. Whereas a woman just inherently makes it all better. But you have Victor Frankenstein, who's like, no, I'm making this for the sake of making it, to prove my superiority over God and nature. And he was in love with his craft. So he made the perfect being. Now, it's not a sexist thing. I made a man over a woman. I would make a woman over a man. It's a thing of, he wasn't driven by lust or desire or something, out of human nature. Maybe the desire to conquer is human nature itself. But no, he made it pure and beautiful, and then hated his own creation. So maybe we're more similar than I would have previously thought, but I have to love my work. I have to find a way to come up to it and say, you're beautiful, let's go fuck, and make podcast babies and get shows out. And I think that's where the sweet spot is, and that's how we get things done, is me getting over myself and getting out of my own way and embracing it. So yeah, I had to vent. I have other shows that are going to be going up here, but I know I do this a lot, and it pisses me off that we keep circling back to this, but unless I keep tackling the issue and keep, if I don't acknowledge it and just stay quiet and oh, it's okay, I missed 2 episodes last week, we'll just move on next week, it's not going to get better. I have to acknowledge the problem, come up with a solution, implement, fix, and adapt as necessary. And it's something that gnaws at me. I hate it. I hate it. Nothing worse than, feeling like I've not made a commitment or putting this sense of pressure on myself and then failing to come through. But no more, I say. As I've said many times in the past. No more! So, now that I've had this cathartic... God damn it. Work phone's going off. But that's it. We record at work. So I'm gonna call this one. I'm gonna call back the coworker and see what they need. But otherwise, yeah. Welcome back. Thank you for the support. I love you all. I love this. What's the Stuart? Not Stuart Little. I'm good enough. I'm strong enough. And gosh darn it, people like me. Something like that. But anywho, if you want to, say, oh, that was stupid and that was wishy-washy, we don't like you, or yes, please continue to make episodes, or you want to talk about anything else, write the show, theunwashedasses@gmail.com, or of course you can always throw something at Twitter at me, at 0and09. And of course this year, you want to support the show, tell a friend, let them know where they can get the show, which is anywhere you can get podcasts, The Unwashed Asses, and that's going to do it. See you soon.